I don't think. I know it was a week. Okay, we're going to reopen the meeting back to our regular session, an open session. Can y'all hear me back there? Okay, awesome. Okay, I'd like everyone to stand for the pledges. I'd like to welcome Humble High School Army JROTC. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
I'd like everyone to please stand a moment for a moment of silence. Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone. Welcome back to school. And first on our agenda is commendations and recognitions. Dr. Fagan, do we have any?
Yes, we do. We will begin tonight's meeting with our Inspiring Moments video. This month we are highlighting the Humble ISD Education Foundation, a group of people dedicated to helping our teachers make the impossible possible. Jonathan Fry, please show tonight's inspiring moment.
The Humble ISD Education Foundation encourages teachers to reach students outside the box. The innovative ideas that our teachers are coming up with are reaching the entire district. Northbelt Elementary just did an awesome one the week before school, going into neighborhoods and school buses and reaching our community and passing out school supplies. It was raining. It was pouring rain that day.
And normally, back in my day, if the teacher came to your home, it meant trouble.
They came into my house, and I thought that was one of my mama's friends. Until she said, "Is Giovanni here?" I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
Just to get to those kids and just love on them and let them know that we are excited to see them, that is all that matters.
But to see the smiles on their faces, the look of surprise and the shocked, it really put things into perspective, you know, to be able to be invited in. I think often we talk about the parent-child-teacher relationship and the importance of that. And I think this initiative really was an opportunity to build that even more.
When it actually happened that day, I was almost in tears because we've never experienced anything like that.
And I went home to my teacher friends like bragging, going in. Like I was so excited. Like, let me tell you what happened today.
It helps. It helps start the school year off right.
collectively throughout the whole entire school year, the ISD Education Foundation has granted over $1 million back to ISD. And it's a fun process. Those people that read those grants to recommend those grants, pretty much all of them ride the bus so they too can see the reaction of our teachers and students.
Oh yeah, I remember when you won that thing. Now all of a sudden, boom, everyone burst in. Then we all standed up at the same time. Some of us were saying like, we're rich or we're billionaires because that was a lot of money on the check. It was awesome.
We need to make the impossible possible for our teachers by helping them reach their students with these amazing ideas by funding sometimes the most impossible grants, making them possible for them so they can reach their students.
The outdoor musical instrument was sort of an extension to other grants that I've received. The foundation awarded me a grant called Bird's Eye View, and we were able to put bird feeders and bird houses on our campus so kids can learn about birds.
At Roots and Wings, we like to go and look at the birds. I love seeing the way that we help birds.
Then I received another grant where we put in a butterfly garden.
And we also help the caterpillars and stuff with our gardens because they like chew on plants.
And so the outdoor musical instrument is sort of an extension of that, and it will be part of our garden area, so it will be like a sound garden, and it's going to be like a xylophone. It will have attached mallets so that students can come anytime and play the instrument, but during the school day, the science teacher can come bring children outside and talk about sound waves and the science of sound, and the music teacher can bring children out and talk about music and rhythm and creative musical expression. And then other teachers can just bring the kids outside and practice the art of listening and being quiet and being still and listening to the sounds from the xylophone.
I wrote a grant for a project called the 24-Hour Theater Project.
We write the play as well as perform it in 24 hours.
Including sets and scripts and characters and costumes.
And so everyone's going to have to learn to collaborate and to work on a hard deadline in a high-stress situation, which is what most American jobs are.
It really helped me boost my self-esteem, and that's just because of all the hard work that everybody was able to do.
It was a really good bonding opportunity.
24-hour theater helped me understand how good my memory was, and that allows me to do better in my classes, and I'm sure that it'll even better me after high school.
24-hour theater is great because you put a lot of work into it. It's a ton of work, but it's so much payoff. It's so worth it.
Before, I felt all the 8th graders and 7th graders, what they're gonna do is pick on us.
I felt kind of nervous that I wasn't going to know where my classes were.
I felt really like I did not want to come here. I'm just like, please let elementary go on longer.
I thought it would be nice to have the students to have a personal, more small group conversation with students that had recently been through this same transition.
When we got in small groups and they could ask them whatever questions they wanted to ask them.
The 6th graders, they were nervous whenever they first came, but we kind of just showed them around the school, get them familiar with like the different classes. We played games with them. They got to know some of the 8th and 7th graders.
And so whenever they realized that they were going through the same things in the transition from 5th grade to 6th grade, and how nervous they were, they realized, okay, everything's going to be okay. Wood Creek's a good, safe place to go to school, and you can really thrive here. They realized that they had great opportunities here at Wood Creek.
Afterwards, we felt, okay, maybe they're not so bad.
More excited than nervous.
Now I feel really confident about coming here.
When I was there, the whole time, I was just full of joy. I was happy. It was fun. It was a great experience.
Thank you, Humble ISD Education Foundation. We could not have done this without you.
I want to give a special thank you to the Humble ISD Education Foundation because they made it all possible.
Thank you so much to the Education Foundation for supporting the 24-hour theater, especially this year because you're giving us so much and it's going to make it really awesome.
Moving on to my teacher.
That's all? Oh my gosh, please edit it all out. Edit it all out.
Be a buddy, not a bully. Can people please stop littering?
I would like to recognize some of the stars from tonight's video who are in attendance with us tonight. First, Jen Sitton, our foundation board chair. So if you could just stand to be recognized, please. Brandy Rude, Humble High School. There she is. Giovanni Norris and her mom, Keisha Turner from North Belt Elementary. Yay! Kara Peck from North Belt Elementary. Stephanie Coronado from Lakeshore Elementary. And Darcy Petzold from Eagle Springs Elementary. Okay, the Humble ISD Education Foundation makes a huge difference for students. Tonight, the Foundation Board will be making their annual report to the school board. I'm now going to ask Brent Colescott of the Foundation Board to give his report.
Thank you, Dr. Fagan. Just so there's no confusion, this is reporting on last year as I'm retiring as chairperson, turning over. So when you see Jen up there, she is in charge. So, greetings to our school board, trustees, Dr. Fagan, cabinet members, and guests this evening. On behalf of the Education Foundation Board, I would like to present our annual report of the Foundation's work for the 2015-2016 school year. As shown in the video, the Foundation awarded the Humble ISD in the 2015-16 school year $1.38 million to support campus projects and district initiatives. To break that down, $395,854 was from 2 prize posses this year that we were able to award for innovative education grants. Our thanks goes to the Humble ISD School Board trustees for entrusting us with the $100,000 to the Foundation from the HEB Best School District in the State of Texas Award. That prize money added to our overall grand total of our $295,000 that we awarded in the fall. So for the first time ever, we had 2 prize posses this past year. An additional $440,271 of this $1.38 million was donated to the campuses that have annual funds on their campaigns. And then finally, $539,182 was donated by companies, individual donors to support designated projects throughout the district, and we thank the community for that. The Humble ISD Foundation's employee campaign is one of the most successful in the state, and that is solely due to the generosity of our employees and their commitment to the best children in our community. In 2015-16, Humble ISD employees pledged $344,000. This year's campaign will roll out in October, and we look forward to our continuing partnership with these dedicated employees. I would also like to end this presentation tonight by announcing that we at the Foundation have been recognized nationally in a recent report from the education consulting firm of Dewey & Associates, which ranks education foundations as humble as the 5th in the nation in our division. With this honor, we are very proud, and we recognize that we got here for these 5 reasons. First, a dedicated board of directors that lead the Foundation with strategic vision for the future. Thank you. Professional Foundation staff that utilize their expertise in the field to build collaborative relationships with our community. Humble ISD employees that commit to excellence not only at their campus, but for all students in Humble ISD. Local businesses and volunteers that provide the crucial support to ensure the campuses have the resources needed for our students. And of course, the parents. Humble ISD parents don't just wish for an excellent education for their children, They make it happen with the donations of their finance and their time. As I ended my term as chair, Humble ISD was also saying goodbye to Dr. Sconzo, superintendent for 15 years. The foundation greatly benefited from his support and leadership during his tenure. While we bid farewell to Dr. Sconzo, we welcome Dr. Elizabeth Fagan. In our short time getting to know you, it's clear that our foundation and Dr. Fagan are very much aligned and have the same belief in innovation education, teaching, and how we prepare our students for the 21st century. The Humble ISD Education Foundation was created 17 years ago with a mission to support innovation and creativity in the classroom. I speak for the entire board when I say that the foundation is ready to help answer that call for innovation, and together we can take Humble ISD to the next step. In closing, it is my great privilege to announce Jen Sitton as our new chair of the foundation for this school year, 16-17. Jen and her family have a long history of supporting Humble ISD in the community, and I know that her leadership will have a great impact on the foundation for the future. At this time, if I could ask board members, Dr. Fagan, Mr. Keith Lopez, the president, our board liaison for the past year, Ms. Angela Conrad, our current, Mr. Charles Cunningham, to please come up and we will present the check to the school district. Yes, okay. Still on. One last thing, the report is available. All the board members, you do have yours, including you, Dr. Fagan. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next. Humble ISD is supported by outstanding community partners, and here to tell us about an organization that is very supportive of our students and staff is Jerry Monbaron, Director of Community Development.
Tonight, Humble ISD is proud to recognize Lake Houston Chamber of Commerce for their ongoing support of our school district. Here are just a couple of the ways their support is demonstrated. The Lake Houston Chamber BizCom is an initiative created to bring businesses, community organizations, school officials, and individuals together to focus on the unique needs and issues that are specific to our community. There are 4 BizCom groups that meet on the Humble ISD high school campus throughout the year. The framework for this program was created by Humble ISD's Assistant Superintendent for High Schools, Trey Kramer, and Don Gaddy of Edward Jones. A couple of years into the program, the Chamber offered to facilitate and expand this program throughout the Humble ISD community, and since it has grown exponentially. This is a great resource for the community to engage with Humble ISD and the schools in their neighborhoods. Additionally, the Chamber hosts a Teacher of the Year luncheon annually to recognize Teachers of the Year from all Humble ISD campuses. Humble ISD is pleased to announce that the work of the Lake Houston Chamber of Commerce is now recognized at the state level through the Texas Association of School Boards program, Stand Up for Texas Public Schools. As Jenna Armstrong, President and CEO of the Chamber, comes up to the front to receive this recognition packet, come on up. Please join me in thanking the Lake Houston Chamber of Commerce for their service to Humble ISD.
We have even more to celebrate tonight. Assistant Superintendents Melissa Hayhurst and Trey Kramer will be introducing our Extraordinary Teachers of the Year from middle and high schools tonight, and next month Elementary Teachers of the Year will be at our board meeting. So, Melissa and Trey.
Good evening. So, middle school is a time when students gain more experience making choices for their lives. It's not easy to transition from childhood to the teenage years, but fortunately kids don't go through this on their own. They are not only supported by incredible families, but also by dedicated teachers who truly care and understand them. Teachers who provide lessons and experiences that help students grow academically and socially, find joy in learning, and discover their futures. I am very proud to introduce our Middle School Teachers of the Year for 2016-17. From Atascocita Middle School, Tadisha Jack. From Creekwood Middle School, Michelle McCrary. Ms. McCrary is also being honored as a district finalist. From Humble Middle School, Tashia Gordon. From Kingwood Middle School, Sky Kinney. From Riverwood Middle School, Sarah Surface. From Ross Sterling Middle School, Felisa Watson. And Miss Watson is not able to be here tonight, but of course we will get her plaque to her. From Timberwood Middle School, Brooke Twing. And Miss Twing has moved to Washington State, but of course we will ship her plaque to her. Perhaps. And last but not least, from Wood Creek Middle School, Daryl Legesby. So thank you so much and congratulations. Mr. Kramer, Assistant Superintendent for High Schools, will be recognizing our High School Teachers of the Year. Right.
Yeah. All of us remember teachers who made us better, who inspired us, believed in us, and shaped us into the people we are today. We remember those teachers our entire lives. The men and women being honored here tonight are those teachers. They will live on forever in the hearts and minds of their students. It's with great honor that I get to recognize these individuals tonight. From Cambridge, Mr. Jeremy Trumbar. Jeremy is not able to be with us tonight, but we will get his plaque to him. From Kate, David Schrubar. From our DAP program, Vernon Massey. Atascocita High School, Mr. Virgilio Davis. Mr. Davis had a death in his family earlier today and planned on being here, but he could not be with them, so please keep him and his family in your prayers. Humble High School, Brandy Rude. Also want to make special note that Ms. Rude is also being honored as the District Teacher of the Year. Kingwood High School, Rex Wolf. Mr. Wolf is also being honored as a district finalist. Kingwood Park, Glenn Taylor. Quest Early College, Angela Morales. And Summer Creek High School, Julie Samel. Ms. Samel is also being honored as a district finalist. Thank you and congratulations. At this time, some of our honored teachers may need to leave to ensure they are ready to teach their students tomorrow. So that is your cue to get out. As they leave, how about another round of applause for all of our outstanding educators? Thank you very much.
That was awesome. Okay, next on the agenda, we have questions and comments by patrons or employees of the district regarding agenda items or any other matters. Just so you know, if it's not on the agenda, the board can't talk about it. It's against the Texas Open Meetings law, but you can talk about anything you want. The only request we have to speak publicly is a request from Jeff Prowl, Mark Schwackhammer, and Robert VZ.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to speak this evening with you. My name is Robert VZ. I'm the program manager for the Clean Vehicles and Clean School Bus program in Houston-Galveston Area Council. We provide grants to school districts to replace old buses with lower emitting newer school buses. These buses help improve the air quality within our region and help protect the health of both children and the community. On behalf of Houston-Galveston Area Council, I would like to thank Humble ISD for participating in our Clean Vehicles and Clean School Bus program. We are proud to award the district with the $291,096 grant for the replacement of 5 clean diesel school buses. We appreciate Humble ISD and their commitment to support our air quality efforts within our region. Thank you.
Good evening. We are excited to partner with HGAC to bring additional funds to Humble ISD. The Clean Vehicles Grant provided $291,096 to Humble ISD to buy 5 clean diesel buses. The grant dollars paid for approximately 60% of the cost of the 5 clean diesel buses. A new diesel bus must meet stringent federal EPA guidelines and emits a small fraction of the pollutants of a diesel engine manufactured before 2010. A condition of the grant was that 5 older buses had to be destroyed once the new buses were received. Essentially, 5 clean diesel buses replaced 5 dirty diesel buses. We currently have 20 propane buses on order that are being substantially funded through another grant in the amount of $1.1 million. These buses should be placed in service by late November. We are also working with HGAC on additional grants to offset the funding of additional bus purchases. A special thanks to Assistant Director Mark Swackhammer for his work on these grants. Humble ISD, a best 100 fleet in North America, strives to operate efficiently and protect our environment as well as our passengers. These grants will allow us to retire many of the older buses in the fleet, thus reducing additional pollutants. Thank you, Robert, for being here tonight. If I could get Mr. Lopez and Dr. Fagan.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Dr. Charles Ned, Director of Advanced Academics.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez, and good evening to all Board of Trustees, Dr. Fagan, Cabinet members, and our guests. Charles Ned, Director of Advanced Academics, and sticking with the theme of Celebrate, and I'd like to acknowledge some of the work that our students have done over the course of this past school year. I know that more oftentimes than not, when I come up, I have students with me, but these are the results of our 2016 AP exams, which were administered in May, so we did not get the results back until July, but our kids did great. So I'd like to share some of the outcomes with you all this evening. A student's score on a given AP exam measures their achievement in a college level course. The score can be used by colleges and universities to determine if college credit is granted for what a student has already learned or allow the student to skip the equivalent course in college. This past May, a total of 4,465 AP exams were taken by 2,616 Humble ISD students, an increase of 21% more exams and a student participation increase of 26% when compared to 2015. 59% of Humble ISD students who took at least one AP exam scored a 3 or higher, outperforming the state passing rate by 8%. With 2,624 exams scoring a 3 or above, a minimum of 7,872 potential college credits were earned, a 101% increase when compared to 2015 statistics, which turns into a significant cost savings for many. Students who do well on multiple AP exams can receive the College Board's AP Scholar recognition. In July, we were notified that 560 Humble ISD students, many of whom are currently enrolled at institutions of higher education, earned the AP Scholar designation, and 24 exceptional students earned the National AP Scholar designation. In order for you to fully comprehend what it takes to earn this designation, I'll provide a few more details. To become an AP Scholar, you must score a 3 or higher on at least 3 or more exams. we had 315 students who did this. In order to become an AP Scholar with honors, you need to have averaged a 3.25 on all exams taken, scoring a 3 or higher on 4 or more exams. We had 109 students that achieved this. In order to become an AP Scholar with distinction, you need to have scored a 3.5 on all exams taken and scoring a 3 or higher on 5 or more exams. So you kind of get the point. The more you take, the better the recognition. To become a national AP Scholar, you need to have scored at least a 4 on all exams and scoring a 4 or higher on 8 or more exams. And we had multiple students that had taken upwards of 14 exams. We had one student that the highest score you can make is a 5. She made 14 5s on all 14 exams. So just phenomenal. So being named a National AP Scholar is quite an achievement, and I thought it would be fitting to commemorate the exceptional academic accomplishment of these students by presenting the district with this banner bearing the names of our 24 National AP Scholars in hopes that it will be displayed in a prominent location for all to see, as this is indeed something to be proud of. So at this time, I'd like to ask our board president, Mr. Lopez, and our superintendent of schools, Dr. Fagan, to please come forward to receive the banner. Thank you all very much.
Where do you? There we go. Sorry, Peggy. Is that on the ground, isn't it? Okay, good. Comments by individual board members, and I'll start to my right. Ms. Morrison.
Congratulations to all the teachers of the year, and that's hard work, okay? Also, nothing like receiving a bunch of big checks tonight. How outstanding. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, the foundation. I mean, I know there's some principals sitting in this room that are ecstatic over that money, okay? So thank you again. And clean air, oh, I'm so proud of us. Just so many accomplishments for our kids and everything. And congratulations, Ms. Conrad. My head would be this big. So very happy for everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Conrad. Mr. Engelage.
I think Nancy said it all.
That's Ms. Moore. What did I say? No, I've got Conrad on the brain because I can't believe her son made the national list. I'm sorry, Nancy. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Ms. Morrison. Mr. Engelage. Okay, Mr. Sidden.
Again, congratulations, Teacher of the Year, for those that are still here. I have been fortunate to work with Jenna Armstrong with the Chamber for many years now, and the work that they're doing and the bond that the business community and the school district has created is making our community stronger. So Jenna, thank you for your leadership. Also, speaking of community leadership, we have the Honorable Mayor Merle Aaron from the City of Humble, Council Member Norman Funderburk, big supporters of the school district, and our partnership with the city couldn't be stronger under their great leadership. So thank you all for being here as well. This week we found out that Kingwood High School and Quest Early College were listed in the U.S. News and World Report as 2 of the best high schools in the nation. So we're very proud to have that distinction. And last but not least, the Education Foundation, you know, that's, a lot of you know, that's where I kind of cut my teeth many years ago before I ran for the school board, and couldn't be prouder of the work y'all are doing, and couldn't be prouder of seeing my wife take on the chairmanship this year. And yes, I've gotten multiple texts since she was in the video, and I did outkick my coverage. So, and so I will leave it at that, and back to you, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. Sitton. Ms. Conrad.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you again. It was great to see all of our teachers of the year again here once again. Congratulations to them. Big accomplishment there. Also, some of them received Education Foundation grants. I see Ms. Rude was in there as well. The foundation, I just want to thank you all, not only the board and the board of directors, but the committee work that's done behind the scenes, putting all these events together. And it was really great to have the opportunity to see a little bit about some of the grants. That's always nice to know where the money goes. But those are some really innovative ideas. And it's so exciting to see that our teachers are coming up with those ideas and willing to spend the extra time and effort to not only apply for the grant, but then to spend the time implementing those programs in the schools. And a lot of times something grows from that and becomes implemented across the campus from those little seeds that are planted. So it's a wonderful opportunity. So thank you for all the committee work that's done behind the scenes, and for those who are took the time to write the grants. So really going above and beyond there. What else? Yeah, the AP thing that's amazing. If your kids are taking that, I know it's saved me already $10,000, and we're just into our second semester, second year of college. So it also gives the kids, I think, not only having the credits going into college, but maybe just having that little bit of flexibility in terms of not having to have a full schedule the first year. Because they already come in with some college credits. So I'm all over the financial savings, but I think it gives them a little bit of break going into a new college experience as well. So great job by those kids and everyone who's teaching those classes. So thank you for that. That's all.
Great, thank you, Ms. Conrad. Mr. Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too want to congratulate the teachers of the year, and also the principals and our assistant SUPs for doing great work at our district level. Also want to say thank you to Jeff. Good job as usual. Thank you so much. I do have some comments, Mr. President, but I'm going to wait when I present on the Education Foundation, because I want to comment and introduce a couple of folks too. So I'll pass mic.
Great, thank you, Mr. Cunningham. Mr. Russian.
No comments needed this evening.
Great. I again would like to thank the teachers of the year for being here tonight and recognize them. And again, welcome formally Mayor Aaron and Councilman Funderburk and Jenna Armstrong from the chamber, and of course Jen Sitton of the foundation. Thank you all for being here tonight and everything that you do for our communities and for the district. Dr. Fagan.
Thank you. I just wanted to share that as we've had a great start, as I mentioned last time, and I've had the opportunity to get into quite a few schools, not as many as I would like, but I'm going to continue to get out there and surprise folks, which has been lots of fun, and they've had fun too. As we explore classrooms together and meet students and talk with parents who are there and just really have an organic experience. I said long ago at town halls before the first day of school that, you know, my husband and I had done a lot of research to figure out where the very best place for our family was, and classrooms we wanted to see our daughters in, and a school district where I really feel like I could serve and support as a leader. And as the weeks have progressed through the year, boy, everything that I thought has really been confirmed. Humble ISD is a wonderful place for students. Staff are excited about doing the next level of work as they move forward, and parents are huge contributors and partners in that learning in every way that they can be. So it's been a really wonderful experience so far, and just want to say thanks to all the schools. Some of the schools I spent 3 hours in, and it was a surprise. It wasn't scheduled, and they were wonderful hosts and hostess, and I've really appreciated it. So with that, I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Fagan. All right, we're now going to progress to the board action agenda. We'll start off with closed session, and we have have consideration and action on items addressed in closed session. We have approval of personnel recommendations. Mr. Cunningham, do you have a
Yes,
motion?
Mr. President, I move that the board approves the administration's personnel recommendation as presented with addendum.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? 7-0. Minutes. Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, sir. As to the minutes, I move that the board approve the minutes for the regular board meeting held on August 9th, 2016.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Abstain. We have Brent abstain. Okay.
Okay, Mr. President, I also move that the board approve the minutes for the special board workshop, which was held on August 16th, 2016.
We have a second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? 7-0.
And finally, Mr. President, well, not quite finally, but I also move that the board approve the minutes for the special board meeting and workshop, which was held on August 30th, 2016.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Okay, 7-0. All right, we have an update on board associations and committees. We'll start with the audit committee. Mr. Cunningham?
Yes, Mr. President. Board members, you have on your table, desk there in front of you, the internal audit activities for August. Any questions, please see either committee member, Mr. Ingelagi, Mr. Russian, myself, or also Ms. Fashawn or Dr. Fagan. It's into my report, sir.
Thank you, sir. Board and Superintendent Evaluation Process and Goals Committee, Ms. Conrad.
Yes, Mr. President, you all received an email earlier today. I've just kind of summarized from our last meeting, team building, where we went over the inventory that we all filled out. So I just kind of summarized from there, and there are a few discussion items that we need to continue to discuss. So hopefully you'll look at that and then share your thoughts or input with the committee members. We'll be meeting immediately following this regular board meeting as well as the next. So feel free to provide your input.
Awesome. Great. Okay. Building and Planning Committee.
Everyone should have received the minutes that Dr. Brown sent of our marathon 3.5-hour long meeting. It was the longest meeting in the history of my opinion. Yeah, it was. Which is not her fault. It's your fault. No, it was no one's fault. There was a lot of information. So thank you for the really good summary. It was a lot of stuff to go over that day, but it was a long. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ingelagi. Education Foundation, Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I won't be before you long, but I wanted to make a couple of comments, being that I'm now on this service here. But and I think my colleague, Mr. Sitton, has said it time and time again, but you really have to just sink in, that since 2000, the foundation has awarded $9.2 million. And so that's since 2000. Just imagine that. And then as foundations go throughout the nation, our foundation is ranked number 5. And so that in itself really just kind of means a lot. But and of course there's like 5 tiers that causes that. It's parents, community, employees, foundation staff, but then it's the foundation board. And we have 31 dedicated people in the community that are on this board that has gotten us to this point where we're at. And so in addition to my service this year, I'd like to introduce 3 new foundation board members that we welcome. And they are, if you could maybe wave, stand up, show your hand or something, Jenna Armstrong with the Lake Houston Chamber, new to the board. Jim Carranza with Edward Jones Advisor, he's here new to the board. And now, just a little tidbit here. You know, there's a Carranza down at HISD, and they call him the singing mariachi. Well, we've got the dancing Jim Carranza. If you've been, this guy's got some moves. So, if you've been with Dancing with the Stars, he was it. You know, he had my vote. And also, Kristen Rossler, is she here? She's not here, and she's with the Texas Children's Hospital. She's on the board, new to the board also. So. To add to the report too, Mr. President, I want to let you know that the foundation started the school year off by awarding about $160,000 to HISD campus departments as part of the 50% rebate in the employees campaign. These funds will be used to assist campuses and departments in meeting students' needs. I want to thank everybody, all the employees, just all of Humble ISD who made this happen last year with the employee campaign that we had. And I look forward to a great success as we begin this campaign again, scheduled for October 1st. And last but certainly not least, November the 11th, Veterans Day. Speaking of veterans, Mr. Lopez, you and ourselves are Army veterans, but Veterans Day is a big day for us because that's when we'll be holding our annual golf tournament. Scheduled for November 11th at Oakhurst Golf Club. You can register and sign up as a sponsor. Of course, we want you to play. I believe the website that you can go to is www.humbleisdfoundation.org. Look forward to having a great time. I don't remember what we raised last year, but I know over the last couple of years we've been well over about, 60,000, 50,000. And so we look forward to another successful year. And I look forward to my year serving with this group. That's going to end that long report. I know you haven't heard me talk that long in a while, so
Yes.
that's going to end that report.
Mr. Cunningham, you have a question.
Well, you may have to divert. I'm just curious about the annual fund campaigns. Do you have more schools participating this year? I know it's kind of trended more that way.
You know, I was at a board meeting this morning, as a matter of fact, and I want to state for the record now, this is my second meeting. We had a meeting in August, but it was after the board meeting. So I want to say that, it was Wood Creek Middle that came on board, and we are probably well over 50% for the high schools. We're well over 50% participation for middle schools, and it's the elementary schools where we're kind of, in there, but we're there. All total, I forgot what's the number. 16.
Oh, okay.
And so I think with Wood Creek, it made 6 middle schools, I believe. And then we got 3 of the high schools.
Thank you.
That's great, and it is a big deal when our employees give their own money to support the foundation. It's really, frankly, unbelievable, and so it's just it's a wonderful thing, and it just shows that we're a family, I think. Okay, Finance Committee. That's Mr. Rushing.
So, Mike, if I'm going to have to follow Cunningham here, we're going to have to do something. I mean, he's got this nice slick to read from. He's got a whole summary of information to read from. So my message is just make sure all that money gets in the right bank account, and we'll be all right. So, our next committee meeting is September 27th. That's the first for this calendar year, so it's right around the corner. We've got a minimum of 5 meetings scheduled throughout this year already on the books, so I look forward to serving with the committee. So more to come after that meeting in October.
Super, thank you, Mr. Rushing. Kingwood Super Neighborhood Council, Mr. Engelage, I believe that's you.
No report from last month.
No reports. All right, Legislative Committee, that is Ms. Morrison. I know she's busy. Okay.
Well, our committee met. We had a capital alert from the Texas Association of School Administrators putting out their priorities for the year and what they are considering, and so our committee met and we are in agreement with their priorities, and we will send those to you all so you can peruse them also, because we want to keep a very close eye, and we will be meeting more and more with Representative Huberty, and we will keep you updated.
Great, thank you, Ms. Morrison. Program Committee, that's Mr. Sitton.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lopez. Our next meeting is in October. We will get an update on the Humble High School feeder pattern and the new T-STEM program going on at Humble High School, and hopefully we'll have a full report to the rest of the board on where we're at on that, where we started, where we're at today, and where we're going on that. Also, we're due to get an update on the movement from 504 and RTI. We have Dr. Oganowski coming back in to give us an update on the progress that we've made over the last 3 years there. We haven't had her come in and give us an update since, this is the 3rd year, isn't that right? Yeah, this is the 3rd year. So give us an update, so we'll get that information out to everyone as well. And then either at that meeting or the following meeting, we're doing an update on the expansion of the Spanish immersion program in the 2 new schools that are going to be opening in the Groves, the elementary school next year and the middle school the following year.
Great. And last but certainly not least, Technology and Data Governance Committee.
No report. Our next meeting is October 4th.
Great. Okay, next is the consent agenda. For anyone that hasn't been to a board meeting, what happens is we get the information regarding the agenda and other information in advance of this meeting. If we have any questions or concerns, we address those with Dr. Fagan in advance to have those questions answered. And so to expedite the meeting, we have a consent agenda. If there's nothing that's an issue, we can try to clear out some of the action items. And so, Mr. Cunningham, if you can keep up with me, we'll
Yes,
go
sir.
through the consent agenda. We'll start off with governance considerations. We have item A, proposed revision to TASB policy DGBA local. That is consent. B is TASB policy F&G local. That is consent. C is revision to TASB policy FNF local. That is consent. D is revision to TASB policy EIC local. That is consent. E is proposed revision to TASB policy FOD local. That is consent. We'll move on to superintendent's division reports, considerations, and purchases. A is interlocal contract for after-school services at Ross Sterling. That's a consent. B is naming of Turner Stadium Fieldhouse.
Pull that.
That's an individual. We have no items under the learning division. Financial services division reports, considerations, and purchases. A, tax refunds. That's consent. B is removal of tax accounts from delinquent tax roll. That is consent. C is budgetary amendments. That is consent. Under human resources reports, considerations, and purchases. A, proposed additional staffing units. That is consent. Under support services division reports, considerations, and purchases. A, surface waiver agreement for high school number 7. That is consent. B is construction and construction-related purchases. That is consent. Under district-wide reports, considerations, and purchases. A, goods and professional services and non-construction services exceeding $50,000 in the aggregate or $25,000 individually. That is consent. Mr. Cunningham, if you can read that back in the form of a motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President. I move that the board approve the following items by consent. Under governance and considerations, items A, B, C, D, and E. Under superintendent's division reports, consideration, and purchases, items A. Under financial services, consideration and purchases, items A, B, and C. Under the human resource reports, consideration, and purchases, items A. Under support services divisions, consideration and purchases, items A and B. And under district-wide reports, consideration and purchases, item A.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All in favor? That is 7-0. Okay. All right, we have 3 information items regarding revisions, policy revisions for next board meeting. DCE local and the 2 TASB policy updates, 105 and 106. All right. Under superintendent's division reports, we have the naming of Turner Stadium Fieldhouse. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Sitton, you pulled this one, ready for discussion.
Yeah, I just wanted to pull this, say a few things about the purpose of this and who is going to be representing that. Wayne Robbins of the Robbins family, Robbins Auto Mall, established in 1928. They've been a fixture in this community forever. And Wayne Robbins died at the age of 88, graduated from Humble High School in 1946. But over the years, if any of our campuses needed anything, whether it was the FFA, athletic boosters, academics, pick up the phone, call Wayne Robbins, and he's there. He's there to write a check. He's also there to be supportive. He was at every FFA auction that I can remember. The last several years, he was confined to a wheelchair, and he would call anybody and everybody to get a ride to the football games, to the basketball games, to the region track meets, etc. So when his passing came last month, Troy Kite called Dr. Fagan, and then we had a conversation. And the idea then, and with his long-standing history with the George Turner family, to rename the field house at Turner Stadium after him, the Wayne C. Robbins Field House. And so I would like to lend it my support that it's well-deserved. You know, we don't take naming of facilities lightly, as we've had that discussion in the past. This is one of those lifelong supporter, not just lifelong resident, not just graduate, but lifelong supporter, financially, physically, etc. And I think it's well deserving. So I just wanted to make those comments publicly.
Great. Any other comments on this item? Okay. We'll now vote. All in favor? 7-0. Fieldhouse shall now be known as the Wayne C. Robbins Fieldhouse. I think we'll let the athletic department do that.
Option 2. Option 2. We vote on the option. You don't like the round one? Top one?
In just what they're talking about is in the agenda. There's three, where his name's going to go on the field house. There's 3 different ways to do it, and so that's what they're talking about. 3 different proposals.
Yeah, number 2. Yeah. Option
Okay,
2.
we'll let the athletic department take care of that. Okay, all right. But this is it's worthy and appropriate that we do recognize Mr. Robbins and his family, and so this is something that I'm proud that we're able to do as a district and a community for everything that he's done over his entire life for our district and Humble High School. Okay, we have a yearly report on delinquent tax collections, and we have our attorneys here. Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott, Mr. Roseman, and Mr. East.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lopez.
Thanks, Don.
Members of the board and Dr. Fagan. As is usual, Greg is going to take you through the report that we present. I wanted to, 1, thank you for giving us the opportunity, and 2, I wanted to share with you a couple of brief observations about what we look at in Humble ISD in terms of tax collection. Last year when we stood before you, we talked about how well collected you were percentage-wise and dollar-wise on your levy before we even begin our collection activities. I'm sad to say, from our standpoint, you've surpassed that level. Your citizens have paid even a greater percentage, and Greg will go into that in a moment. But it's a testament to your district and your citizens and the confidence they have in you by paying those. So congratulations on that. The other comment, in this economic environment, we are looking at bankruptcies, and we're seeing bankruptcies on the business side, mainly oil patch related matters. We're not seeing very many or much of an increase in individual bankruptcies in Humble, so that's good, and I hope with the stabilization of oil prices that you won't get there, but that's very positive. The other thing I would tell you is on some of the collections that we are pursuing, we're finding that we're having to resort to litigation more than we have in the past. We have more suits filed, more things pending. I'm not worried about getting paid for you. What I think that indicates is the people who haven't been able to pay need more time in defending those lawsuits because they know it takes time to work it through the court system, that's where they are. The defenses to a delinquent tax suit are not many. So our track record is very good on your behalf in the courtroom. Having said that, unless you have questions for me, I'm going to let Greg walk you through the report. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Donnie. All right. And thank you. Beverly passed out a report to all of you. The first page one is the tax year calendar. Each year, your appraisal district in Harris County will value the properties based on their value as of January 1st of the tax year. They send notices of the value in the spring, and they give it to your tax office later in September, hopefully. In October, you mail the tax bills. They don't go delinquent until February 1st. So the taxpayers have several months where they have to pay without penalties and interest. February 1st, if you haven't paid, you go delinquent, you start being charged penalties and interest. The tax office sends out a delinquent bill in March. And in May, they send out another delinquent bill. That one warns that if you don't pay by July, a collection penalty will be added on to your bill. And July 1st, if you haven't paid, the collection penalty is added to your bill and gets turned over to us. That's when we start working on it. Page 2 shows your tax year and what your tax office collected by June 30th. And that's 98.6% of your total levy. So of your total levy of $202 million, they collected 98.6%, leaving just a tiny little sliver for us. Page 3 shows the trend over time. You can see it's been 98% or higher for several years. And for finally, this is the highest it's been in several years, at least 7. That's very, very good performance for your tax office. Page 4 show what we're working on for the 2015 tax year. Most of that's just turned over to us in July, so we've worked on that for a couple of months. And you see there's a pretty big chunk that's in deferral. If a taxpayer is over 65 or has a disability, you can apply for a deferral, and that means we don't work on the account. And you can keep the deferral as long as it's your homestead, and you get charged a lesser interest rate than normal. So those we just will not work on. We do check to see if it's still qualified, and if we think there's something wrong, we'll tell the appraisal district. But otherwise, we don't contact the taxpayer. As accounts with bad addresses, we'll go through periodically and just review and see if we can find a new address. If people have moved, we can check and see if they still own the house, and we'll contact the new owner if there's a change. We'll see if they've renewed the driver's license somewhere else and that kind of thing. Accounts in litigation or accounts in suit already. And then payment agreements have been made so far. Page 5 is for all tax years. We start working on the 2015 taxes in July. We keep working on the older tax years, and this just shows the layout. You see there's over $1 million in deferrals and another 1.3 million in litigation, and that makes up the bulk of it. You see, so far the bankruptcies are still low, so knock on wood, hopefully that will stay the same. Page 6 shows how much is due for each year for several years. And of course, the biggest chunk is the 2015 taxes, which just became turned over to us, and it just goes down over time. Of course, there's less and less. Only 14% of the whole roll is 2014 that we did last year, 2013 from starting 2 years ago, and so forth. Page 7 shows how much you've turned over to us over the last several years. You can see it was starting in 2009 and went to a steep decline, just designed to aggravate Donnie. And then just went up just a little bit last year, and then for 15 it was almost exactly the same turnover, basically flat. And page 8 shows how much we've collected from the first year, since starting in July 1st through June. And so we like to be at high 60s and 70%. So the most recent year for 14, we're at nearly 66%, and that's due to just one account that owes a lot of money. It's
in suit, and we have a trial set in a couple of months. So hopefully that will be collected soon. But it's only one account accounting for that, so there's not like over 20 accounts owe a lot of money. It's just one. And the remaining pages just show the trends over time. So page 9 is the 2009 tax year. And of course, we keep working on accounts over time. We try to hit the current year really hard for the first few months, starting in July. And then we start calling on the accounts older years again. And just keep working on them. We'll push through litigation if we need to. And call and send letters. And this next few pages show the trends just over time. But your district's very well collected, and we work with your tax office extremely well. And hopefully they feel the same about us. I'm sure you would hear about it if they didn't. But if you have any questions, Donnie and I will be happy to answer them.
Does anyone have any questions for Greg or Donnie? Anyone? Yes, sir, Mr. Sitton.
Not necessarily a question, but more of a comment than anything, if that's all right.
Sure.
Want to thank y'all. Y'all have done a fantastic job. But you know, tonight there's been a lot of stuff said about the Education Foundation, and I know that you guys are huge supporters of our Education Foundation each and every year. So just want to publicly thank y'all for all you do for Humble ISD. Other than just being a partner with us, you truly are a partner by donating back to our community and to our foundation.
Thank you very much. And as I've said before, that's one of the easiest and most rewarding things we do is participating in education foundations. And we're glad to be your partner and work with the foundation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. With all of the checks being thrown around at the beginning of this meeting, it got really exciting, and something slipped my mind, and I feel really bad about that. But I'd like to welcome somebody who will hopefully be around as long as the wonderful lady that she's replacing, Beverly. Beverly Aiden is our new board secretary. She's also the executive secretary for Dr. Fagan. She will be replacing Peggy Young, who I thought last meeting was going to be Peggy's last meeting, but she keeps coming back, and I'm not upset about it at all. She's a bad pen, keeps turning up. But Beverly, we're very excited that you're here, and we look forward to working with you very closely. And the future's very bright. We're really excited. But and Peggy, again, you will be missed. I'm not. I won't make you cry, I promise. All right. Now it's time the board meeting for future board business. There was no other information items that I remember. Yeah, the only other information items, financial services report, and you guys were presented that. So if you have any questions regarding the financial services report. It's not on the agenda. Oh, it is. I scratched through it. My fault. See, you know what? All those checks, big numbers coming to the school district makes me excited, so I overlooked it right here. Here it is. The last thing on the agenda is the School Health Advisory Council, the SHAC annual report. And is anyone here to present for that?
I'll let you here She's here to answer any questions you may have about
Where? I don't even see Helen. Is she here? Oh, there she is. See, she needs to stand up. There you go. Well, everyone needs to know that I used to not look forward to this meeting every year because she'd make us do push-ups and sit-ups, and so trying to get the board in shape, keep us healthy. But no, this is an important report. It was a part of the agenda. Do any board members have any questions regarding SHAC? Not Shaquille O'Neal, but the School Health Advisory Council.
My only question was, it talked about the following items that were addressed, and one of which there was a subcommittee formed, and it says see attached action plan, but there was no action plan attached.
They have the committee members. Yeah, come up, Helen.
I don't know. That could just be a follow-up item. unless you have that with you, but.
You know I have it. So the drug and alcohol subcommittee, is that what you're referencing?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me just a moment. Okay, so this year, as part of our SHAC committee, the members wanted to form a subcommittee, and our subcommittee focused on drug and alcohol prevention, awareness, and outreach programming. And so I was really pleased with the work that they accomplished this year. We invited community partners in as well. We had a very riveting testimonial from a former student and his mother about his journey through addiction. And they, like I said, they're a former student in our district. And I just feel like this committee is committed to doing some very good work on in this area of drug and alcohol prevention, awareness, and outreach. And so I'm very proud. I think we've already created a live binder so that we can begin to share resources for our community members. I also, the committee has looked at, we took a survey ourselves, so we wanted to not just base all of our work upon perception, personal perception, but really what is happening out in our community. And so we're working off of that and what the survey indicated to us as well. And then what we're doing, our existing programming, as far as like our Red Ribbon Week activities and things like that. And what do we have that's going really well, and what can we do better, and how can we grow those programs? So that's kind of where that subcommittee is at this year. And then we have some proposed goals for this next year.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've got yeah, go ahead. Heath.
Sorry, I got a question. Just in terms of, and it's going to be very general because I'm starting to get a little bit more educated on this, but just in general, is the SHAC getting involved in sort of any advisory role related to nutritional guidelines in the district or anything of that sort? And if so, just maybe a few brief comments about the impact you do or don't have in that area.
I'm going to be brief on that because Shirley Parker, who's our Director of Child Nutrition, she was here earlier this evening to address any of those types of questions. But absolutely, our SHAC committee, we look at nutritional guidelines that change every year. And our wellness policy reflects many of those changes and wordings that you all will see as I think you all have that policy. So.
Outside of the committee, do we get any other feedback from the community on that topic?
Regarding
just specific guidelines or selections that are offered, those kinds of things within
USDA,
yeah.
They come forth with us with all the federal guidelines that come down. Yes, so we do follow those. We follow all the state recommended guidelines, and like I said, anything those change annually. It's amazing how we find that changes, and so that's why we update our wellness policy annually for you all.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the drug and alcohol.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that you're gathering a list of resources. How do our students access those resources?
That's where we're going to have our very first meeting in a week and a half, and we will be addressing ways to connect with the students. So that's
Great.
and we also are have some input from some of our administrators are now going to be part of our SHAC committee as well, so that we can help to better serve those campuses and the communities around them that surround them.
Great.
And we have some student representation as well, so I'm looking forward to that this year.
Mr. Sitton.
Do you have y'all reached out for any public-private partnerships on that aspect? Because we have a few very good juvenile addiction houses within our community.
Yes, we have. Yes,
okay.
we have.
Perfect.
Absolutely. I know we use the Region 6 and the Preventative Outreach Center. I'm trying to think the other one locally that we use, but we've reached out to 2 different committees, community partners.
Perfect.
Anyone else have any other questions for Helen? Anyone? Yes, sir, Mr. Ingley.
No questions, but just want to thank you for all you do. You know, as you know, my wife's been on that committee for a number of years.
She's my co-chair.
Yes, and she said that I should say something really nice about you. So, in case
Very-
she's watching,
way to
in
go.
case Brooke Brocker is on TV, you're my favorite person in the entire committee world. So, thank you, honey. I said it. Thank you for all you do. You do a great job. I know that committee's important, so thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions or comments to or about Helen?
Okay, I was okay with two, but about?
No, you were trying to get me in shape. I appreciate it, Helen. I really do. Kidding. All right. Future board business. Going once, going twice. This meeting is concluded.